Let's look at this same chemical reaction again and see how we can use these stoichiometric ratios to learn some things. First question, how many moles of aluminum react with 5 moles of copper 2 chloride? Well, like most problems, I'm going to start with what I have, and that's 5 moles of copper 2 chloride. We can use relevant stoichiometric ratios that make use of the coefficients in our balanced chemical equation to figure out how many moles of aluminum would react. So the stoichiometric ratios that I need to use here are between the two relevant species. One is aluminum and one is copper 2 chloride. I'm trying to figure out the number of moles of aluminum. That's my question. So I'm going to have that in the numerator. The stoichiometric ratio that I can use would be 2 moles of aluminum are formed for every 3 moles of copper 2 chloride. If I look at the units, I'm going to cancel moles of copper 2 chloride, and then what I have left over is the units I want, or moles of aluminum. So it's 5 times 2, which is 10, divided by 3. So 9.3 moles of aluminum. Okay, let's look at the second example. How many moles of copper can be produced from 5 moles of aluminum? So now I need to look at moles of copper and moles of aluminum. I'm going to start with what I have, 5 moles of aluminum. And I'm going to use the stoichiometric ratio that's going to give me moles of copper. So, and my ratio comes from these coefficients in the balanced chemical equations. So I'm going to have 3 moles of copper on top and 2 moles of aluminum on the bottom. What this stoichiometric ratio is saying is that for every 2 moles of aluminum that is reacted, 3 moles of copper are produced. And so in this case, I wind up with 15 moles divided by 2, or 7.5 moles of copper. It's worth pointing out that the coefficients in chemical reactions are integers, and so the stoichiometric ratios are considered exact numbers. The amount of starting material we have is a measured quantity. So if I'm looking at significant figures here, I should really say 8 moles of copper. And in the above example, I should say 9 moles of aluminum.